this is number one, right? 2010 Cup Final, Game 6. We all know how it happened. Flyers lose in overtime on Patrick Kane's bad angle goal. And it really, like, on the face of it, that's bad. Game 6 at home. Jeff Carter has the chance to win it with like minute 30 left in the third. Golden opportunity from Richards and Giroux. Just hits the goalie right in the chest. I just went back and watched it. It was a pretty decent save, like technically, but shelf that shit. That shit. You're a sniper.
You have one job, Jeff. You're a goal scorer. Do that.
But really what makes it so bad is you go back to the 2007 draft. The Flyers are 22-60. Lose the lottery to the 5th worst team in Chicago. Chicago drafts Patrick Kane. The Flyers draft JVR. And then that guy, Patrick Kane, he does it. He scores the overtime goal against the Flyers in Philadelphia to end the Cup hopes and extend the streak to, where it is now. That was the last crack we had at it. And we're coming up on 50. 50's a year away. And this was what, 14 years ago. So this started it all. This started the downturn of the franchise.
Your girl was in the building.
You were there.
Not enjoy it. So I think I've told the story before, but it's always fun for me to relive this nightmare. So I was sitting like way up high on the opposite side of the ice from where the goal was scored. And I was sitting next to a guy from Toronto with his kid who traveled to one Stanley Cup final game every year. Like he did this with his kid, which sounds fancy as hell. They were very nice. The goal happens. I don't see it. I don't even know what's happening. The Toronto guy goes, sorry about that. And he gets up and leaves. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what? Sorry about what? What? And then I like realized what was happening. And I was like, oh no, like that didn't go in. Like what? And then I watched the cup come out on the ice, and it was terrible. I hated it.
I watched it again this morning just to okay, what were the actual order of events here? And it's just Patrick Kane flying down the ice, and literally no one has any idea. The announcers are like, I don't know. Michael Leighton stopped it. What? Oh no, he scored. It's in. It was just like pure fucking confusion. There were, I believe, 2 people in the building who knew the puck was in. One being Patrick Kane and the other being Michael Leighton. But Michael Leighton was no selling it, hoping like maybe there's not an angle. Like, there, it's in. It's in the net.
It's definitely in. Yeah. The fact that like it was so inexplicable. This is an underrated part of it. It was so inexplicable that they had to review it. Like everyone in the building was so like, there's no way that actually could have went in, that they reviewed, like the puck was in the net. Like they're truly like, it had to have went in, and the officials still had to go to the cameras and go to the video because it was like, there's no way he would have given up that weak of a goal. It had to have gone through the side of the net, John LeClaire style, right? And there's like, Leighton really was that bad.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, it must have been, maybe there's a slice in the net and it went through the side like LeClaire's goal on Hasek. Like that was the only possible explanation. And it was no, he stinks. That's the explanation.
Could have been Bush.
It should have been Bush.
Should have been Bush.
Fucking that goalie carousel. I swear to God, my entire life is I'm gonna be like on my deathbed, being like, why did we do it this way? Why?
Well, Leighton was so good after Bush gets hurt against Boston, and he was so good against Montreal, and then game 1 against Chicago happens. It's like, oh, that's.
I mean, the big thing here was that like Bush was hurt. Like he was back, but he was nowhere near 100%. Yeah. And I think the hope was, and it's not like Bush was good when he got into games in the series, because he did play at times in the series and he wasn't real good. And it was because he was nowhere near 100%. Leighton was, I think, closer to 100%. He was just bad. And there is an element like, and this is such a painful game, but I will say that there is an element of, in a weird sort of way, justice, like not in a good way, but like the Flyers got their season saved by an AHL caliber goalie. Like Leighton was very clearly playing over his head the entire year. And you're just hoping against hope that the regression didn't come this season. And then all of the regression happens at the worst possible time. Like, and like, so it was fair, despite the fact that it was unbelievably painful, because everyone knew that Michael Leighton was not a good goalie. Like, everybody knew. It was just like, well, goalies get hot sometimes, and maybe we can be the team that rides this good luck. And they did, all the way to the final and all the way to Game 6, until Michael Leighton truly turned back into a pumpkin at the worst possible time.
And you didn't exactly have like Dominic Hasek on the other side either in the Emmy.
No.
So it's like,
he wasn't playing well in the series.
Yeah, maybe, all right, Leighton
why the
isn't
Jeff
a
Carter
strength.
thing is so annoying.
Yeah, it is. It's like maybe Leighton isn't a strength, but at least this weakness isn't like totally outweighed on the other side by a dude who's just going to beat us. Like, it's not as if Antti Niemi won them that series, you know? So, but at the end of the day, Leighton did lose it. That's the most heartbreaking shit of all time. I hated watching that Jeff Carter shot again today. I was just, there's so much net. There's so much net. It's
your whole career you score these goals. This is your only job. This is why people like you. This is why I had to argue all the time. Oh, Jeff Carter's actually better than Mike Richards. No, fuck you. Mike Richards never would have missed that shot. Just saying.
No.
Richards would have taken it, but he never would have missed it if he took it.
There were like 2 straight icings against Chicago, and they're set up in the offensive zone. And it's Giroux, Richards, and Carter just owning the puck. They finally get it out front.
I have a lot of respect for you watching this again. I refuse to ever watch this again in this life. I will not watch it.
I was just like, because, you know, like time, the order of events, like, I just want to make sure I'm not making shit up. Like, oh, Jeff Carter missed high and wide, and then Patrick Kane came down and scored. Like, that's not actually how it happened, even though that's basically what happened
high
in my
and
head.
Wide. Yeah, I always remember high and wide because Jeff Carter loved to shoot high and wide. So I'm always just like, fucking Jeff Carter high and wide again.
Well, he didn't miss the net, at least. You know, he got it on net.